Hey house guests, welcome to today's bbcan 9 updates and spoilers. Our house guests of the day are Alan Houston and Dan and Sarah D. Thank you all so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. Alright, if you guys are new here, yes, sometimes I do wear a towel in my hair because I haven't dried it yet. It is what it is. And I don't really care. So let's talk about what's been going on in the house. Also, thank you for being here. So when we left off yesterday, the house guests were waiting for the nomination ceremony. Victoria was planning on putting up Kiefer and LaToya. She's pretending with some people that Kiefer is her target, but it's actually LaToya. She doesn't like how LaToya is always trying to flip the votes, especially at the last minute. She doesn't like the way that LaToya talks to people. Plus, and I think this is the biggest factor, she tried to work with LaToya, and LaToya never reciprocated, and I think that really hurt her feelings. Plus, Victoria wanted to work closely with Ty and Jed as well, but LaToya is the one that's super close to them, so I think she's upset about that too. She's like, those are my guys. So yeah. The Sunsetters really screwed themselves over with the flop vote. Ro knows about it. The guys are trying to blame it on Tara. The guys meaning Ty and Jed. And Tara knows this, so she's not very happy about that. And Austin and Brayden are now super tight with Kyle and Ro instead of the throuple. Before they were really close to Beth, Jed, and Ty, but now, they have jumped into the arms of Kyle and Ro. And the four of them, plus Victoria, created the Oddballs Alliance, which is exciting because that means we have a split house now. And they are also part of this group of like 7 with Tina and Tara. I mean, Tina is solidly in the middle at this point. I think she's still leaning more towards the Sunsetters loyalty-wise, but she's definitely rocking that middle. So it's very interesting. But anyway, Tina was talking to Kyle and Ro in the HOH room, and Kyle and Ro are talking about how the other side is trying to blame the potential vote flip from last week on Tara, but also on Tina by association. So Kyle and Ro are saying, if we win HOH next week, we're going to target the other side, meaning like Ty and Jed and Beth and all them. So Tina says, well, I heard that, Ro, you would put me up on the block with Tara if you won. And he's like, I've never said that. Like, who is spreading that around? And Tina spills that Kiefer was the one telling her that. Oh my god. I mean, LaToya was saying that too, but yeah, Kiefer was really pushing it. They tell her that's BS, and that, like, whoa, we're gonna have to watch out for Kiefer now. You know, what's he doing? Why is he spreading this stuff? I think the guys may have said that at some point, Kyle and Ro, but they were definitely planning on targeting the throuple, and they were just saying Tina and Tara to throw people off. Okay, so then the Sunsetters are trying to keep it together. You know, they've had a rough few days, and they're in danger of splitting up. So Tina, LaToya, Jed, and Ty were all in the Expedia room, and the feeds were down for the beginning of this conversation, so we didn't get to see the whole thing. But it seems like Tina told them that she heard they've been throwing her name around. Whoa! So I'm surprised that Tina didn't just like file this information away, because I didn't think she would be going back and forth with the info like this. It's very dangerous. But yeah, she brought it up to them, and the guys are denying throwing her name out. They're like, we're loyal to the 6. We all have to stay loyal to the 6. We can't let the other side tear us apart. So they say that Kyle and Ro were the ones that said that they would put up Tina and Tara if they won HOH. But again, they would actually put the throuple up on the block. So Jed admits, yes, I did drop Tara's name because she's thrown my name out a couple times, but not you, Tina. So, yeah, they say the other side is just trying to get you to flip on us, so don't listen to them. No, I don't think they would actually go after Tina. I'm sure if that was said, it was like, again, to throw people off, or, I mean, Ty and Jed were doing everything under the sun to try and clear their names with Kyle and Ro about this flip vote. So, yeah. Anyway, the group decides that Ty should probably have a chat with Tara because she's been feeling really left out lately. They want her to feel like she's included in the group. They don't want that other side to scoop her up. But oh my God, Tara is ready to blow up. She is feeling really isolated, especially since Jed apparently is like not even looking at her, not even making eye contact with her. And she's pissed that the guys are trying to put the blame on her for the flip. So Ty and Tara are chatting in the Destiny bedroom, and Ty is trying to do some major damage control here. Tara is coming in hot. Tara's like, I don't give a shit if Jed likes me. I'm over it. She says, Jed's actions speak effing volumes. You know, he made a target for me very easy because I didn't have one before. She said, I wasn't targeting Jed. I'm the old mom here, and I'm on the outs. I'm not going to go after some 6-foot-tall guy who's, like, sculpted out of marble. Okay, so she says, and now I look like a bitch in front of my kids. So she suggests maybe Jed's a liar. Maybe he is lying about me. So Ty is like, I don't really want to go down that road. So anyway, Tara tells Ty, I'm not coming after you. I know you and Jed are two separate people. Like, I get that. So Tara's then asking, like, is Jed going to call another house meeting? So Ty says, you know what happened? I think early on you were a little too honest in communicating how you felt about Jed. Did Jed not ask people to raise their hands during that house meeting if they were targeting him? Or if they were throwing his name out there? So if you remember, Tara raised her hand and was like, oh, I did suggest your name as like a replacement nominee, but not as a target. So, yeah. First of all, it was so dumb that he would even ask people to raise their hands about that. But it was also dumb that Tara did. Wild. So Tara says, yeah, I suggested him as a pawn. I don't know how that got twisted. So Ty says, you know, people don't really feel good when their name is associated with the block, even if it is just as a pawn. So Tara's like, that was not my intention. He's allowed to have whatever reaction he effing wants. I don't need Jed to like me. So she's like ready to blow at this point. She is freaking out. So then she's talking about setting a good example for her kids. She's like, I'm not going to let people make up lies and talk shit about me. I don't do that in real life. I don't let people do that in here. And she says, if Jed wants to misconstrue what I said to what he thinks, and now he's going to spread lies about me and not look at me and treat me like effing garbage, then that's on him. And then Ty's like, well, maybe the stuff that you're hearing isn't true. Come on. Ted, I keep calling them Ted or like Jai. Jed and Ty have absolutely been throwing Tara under the bus hard for this potential flip that did not happen. But yeah, Ty is trying to smooth things over. Okay, so after, Kyle is asking Ty, why do you keep pulling people into rooms? And he was like being super douchey about it. And Ty is like, oh, I just wanted to make sure that Tara's okay because she seemed really upset today. And Ro and Kyle are super paranoid because I'm sure they're figuring, oh crap, is Tara spilling that we told her about the guys throwing her name out? So they're trying to get info from Ty about what they were talking about. And they're like, why does Tara look so uncomfortable? So tensions are really rising here. It was super awkward. These boys are paranoid AF. They cannot keep their mouths shut about it either. So at this point, Rohan realizes that he effed up. He was talking to Kyle and Austin in the OLG room, and he's like, oh crap, Ty is doing damage control right now, which means I probably should not have told Tina about the boys throwing out her and Tara's names. You know, it's gotten back to these boys now, obviously. Tina cannot be trusted. Oh my god. So Ro is now panicking also because he walked in on LaToya and Kiefer laughing about something, and they were like, oh yeah, there's gonna be fireworks tonight, and this was just like a nonsense conversation, But Ro is now freaking out about it, and he's worried that Ty is going to, like, call out a house meeting and expose him. So then the feeds went down for the nomination ceremony, and as planned, Victoria put LaToya and Kiefer up on the block, and I believe in her nomination speech, she made it out like Kiefer is the target, but he's not really her target. LaToya is. Alright, so then the feeds returned to some drama in the storage room. Unnecessary drama. Kyle and Ro are interrogating Kiefer. Tina and Tara are also there, but they were pretty quiet for, like, the whole thing, pretty much. So Kyle's like, you want to fill us in? And Kiefer's like, I'm just making a stir fry. Like, I don't know what's going on here. I'm just getting my ingredients together. So Kyle's like, well, you were talking about some big blow up before? And Ro's like, when I walked in the room, you said that there were going to be fireworks tonight. Oh my god, that conversation was like literally nothing. The paranoia is taking over. So Kiefer starts laughing and saying, oh, that was taken out of context. And Ro's like, well, what are the fireworks then? And Kiefer says, that's just like about the POV competition. And Ro's like, well, you said fireworks tonight and POV's tomorrow. So, like, what was that? So then Kyle's like, it's the second week in a row. I'm sitting on the couch and people are getting pulled into rooms constantly. And Kiefer says, it's Big Brother. You know, that's gonna happen. And Kyle's like, so I'm not allowed to ask you about it then? And Kiefer's like, LaToya and I, we're not even talking about game. We're just talking about, like, real life. You don't need to worry about it. And Kyle's like, well, we're not getting pulled into rooms and our names are being brought up constantly. That's the game! So then Kiefer's like, I'm too soft to play this game. I'm not throwing anyone under the bus. I'm not saying names. And Kyle's like, oh, you're not saying names? Which, I mean, that part is true. Like, come on. Kiefer is playing the game. And Ro's like, I heard my name. I was trying to have a relaxing day because I almost went home yesterday. And then I hear my name come up like 3 times. Duh. It's the game. So the interrogation continues on. And Kyle and Ro are looking so ridiculous and so douchey the way that they're going on about this. It's so dumb. So LaToya comes in after listening outside of the door for a few minutes, and Kyle and Ro just continue their BS for a few more minutes, saying, people are getting pulled into rooms. Why can't we ask you questions about it? Ro heard his name 3 times today. So then eventually LaToya speaks up, and she's just like, okay, what we're not gonna do is gang up on one person because I'm tired of it. She says, this is BB. You're going to hear your names come up. That's great and all, but, like, where was this energy during that stupid house meeting where everybody was against Josh? I mean, I feel like somebody could have spoken up for him during that, right? But anyway, LaToya says, everyone's been lying. It's the game. She specifically calls out Kyle, and she's like, you're like the biggest liar in here. You're manipulating everybody. You're kissing people's asses. She's talking about how, you know, he kind of changes when a new person wins the HOH. He starts kissing that person's ass. He's planting seeds. He's pitting people against each other. And, like, this is getting good here. And then the feeds freaking cut. And they stay down for almost an hour. Why do you hate us, Big Brother Canada? Why do you hate us? So, I just gotta say before we move on, this was such a dumb move on Kyle and Ro's part. This is not something that you need to interrogate people about. This is something that you file away in your back pocket. This is some unnecessary dumbness right here. But again, these boys this season are so paranoid and they cannot handle it. So, after the feeds come back, there's a lot of retells going on for the house guests that were not there for this. And it sounds like it continued for a bit after the feeds went down. Maybe it got a little bit more yelly. It's hard to say if that actually happened or if it's just people's retellings of it. But it sounds like LaToya called Kyle and Ro bullies. I wouldn't call what we saw bullying. I don't know what happened after the feeds went down, but from what I saw, that was not bullying. But it also sounds like Kiefer cried at some point because he was upset that his family was going to have to watch this. And he even, like, talked about possibly leaving the show. What? So, Kiefer really seems to be playing it up like he was bullied. And that could have very well happened while the feeds were down. We don't know. But if it's like what we saw, I feel like he's playing it up and trying to get some sympathy support. Because remember, he's on the block right now. He's in hot water this week. So he could be using this to his advantage. I don't know. But again, maybe he is actually being bullied. I don't know. So then, after all this goes on, Kyle and Ro set off individually on their apology/explanation tour, and it was getting some mixed reactions. It was interesting because when Ro talked to Kiefer's like, I'm done with you. You know, like, maybe we'll be in a group chat together after this, but I don't want to talk any more game with you or anything like that. Damn. Kiefer was telling Kyle, you're a bully, so Kyle apologizes. He apologizes for that. He's like, I never want to make anybody feel like that. And he says things escalated when LaToya joined the conversation. Kyle is trying to act like he was bullied by LaToya. Come on, nobody from what we saw was bullied in this situation. He also was claiming that LaToya came in like screaming, which she did not. Like, I will admit she raised her voice, but she was not screaming. So, again, Kiefer is saying he's not going to be talking game with Kyle or Ro anymore. We'll see how long that lasts. So then later, Kiefer, Jed, and LaToya were chatting in the Defender bedroom, and they were talking about how this is exactly what they needed. It's a perceived attack. Ugh. And they hope that they can win the power of veto and get Kyle up as the replacement, like, as a result of this whole thing that happened. I don't see Victoria putting Kyle up on the block. They're in that alliance now, the Oddballs. I don't see it happening, but they're pretty hopeful that it will. And Ty and Beth had a similar conversation later, like, this is great, we're going to use this to our advantage, we're going to get Kyle up on the block. I don't think so. So, today, they had the Power Veto player picks. Tara is hosting. That wasn't, like, meant to be sassy or anything. I literally just choked on my own spit. But the players, we've got the two nominees, Kiefer and LaToya. Just a reminder, the HOH does not get to play in the POV competition, which I think is crazy, but okay. And the three extra players are Ty, Jed, and Austin. So you'll notice here, 4 out of 5 of the players are Sunsetters. So the Sunsetters are pretty pleased with this lineup. They're feeling like if one of them were to win the power veto, they're thinking a non-Sunsetter will go up on the block as a replacement. So Victoria, looking at this lineup, is very worried that the power veto is going to be used on LaToya because Ty and Jed have already talked to her about wanting to potentially use it on her, and she was like, okay, sure, like, you can do that if that's what you want to do. But LaToya is her target. So then we get some discussions with Victoria and some members of her new Alliance of 7, and it sounds like her replacement nominee would be Beth. Oh, shit! So again, another person that's super close to Ty and Jed. Thruple. So her reasoning for putting Beth up on the block, she tried to play both sides with that vote flip. Not cool. Meanwhile, Beth thinks that she's got everything figured out. She's all good with Victoria. They're going to get Kyle up on the block, and the Sunsetters will make it to the final 6. Oh my god! It's going to be wild if Beth goes up on the block. It's going to be wild. So, I mean, yeah. The house guests are waiting for the power veto competition. It's going to be interesting no matter what. I love weeks like this where, like, anything could happen. It's going to be an interesting one. Can you imagine if LaToya and Beth were up on the block, if, like, Kiefer won again? That would be quite a choice for the Sunsetters to have to make, right? And then I think if LaToya comes down, it could be Kiefer going. So it'll be interesting. But let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments. And until tomorrow. Oh, wait. I just want to say, too, check back later. I'll put the winner for the POV competition in the info for the spoiler. But now I can say thank you so much for watching. And until next time, much love.